So I thought we'd do something different this time. We were going to reply to a comment. Now, I haven't replied to a comment for a while. And today, we're going to reply to someone who is defending the indefensible. In essence, they are defending the Gerson therapy. So this comment comes from a user called Alter Ego. And Alter Ego begins like this. Something called common sense should come into play here. Common sense, Ego, would be that you listen to experts and you understand the basic science. And we're talking basic science here. My science degree, my biology, goes up to a GCSE level. Now, even someone like me, with a bare bones basic biology knowledge, can identify the easy cause and flaws in the Gerson therapy and even tell you it won't work. But here you are, rooting for them and defending a bunch of quacks who sell this to people who are desperate for cures and spend ludicrous amounts, give them ludicrous amounts of money in exchange for hollow and empty promises, things that don't happen. So that's what common sense is to me, Ego. You apparently don't have any. So he continues. Why mock a diet that insists on nothing but natural, unadulterated, non-GMO, uncontaminated fruits and vegetables, and a therapy that insists on detoxifying the body? I will mock Charlotte Gerson, the Gerson Therapy, the Gerson Institute, Patrick Vickers, and anybody else who sells this as a cure for cancer and other various genetic diseases. Originally, and it's still out there, they have books and pamphlets and old material that is still floating around the internet full of all their claims that the things the Gerson therapy can apparently cure. Remember, Charlotte Gerson used to have on her website, and if you email them, they will still back this up, that the Gerson therapy can cure AIDS. Yes, apparently the Gerson therapy can cure AIDS, as well as cancer, and pretty much anything else going, apparently, according to that list they used to have. But again, that got changed down when I started making my videos on this. I wonder why. Yeah, it doesn't matter whether a vegetable is non-GMO or not. There are studies out there, time and time again. You can go and look them up yourself. There is no difference between an organic, natural carrot and something that is basically non-organic. Not even a GMO, but just something that is classified as non-organic. The only thing that's different is the price point. Also, this, and we've covered this before, this would add, for the amount of fruit and vegetables you require to follow the Gerson therapy, it would add an extra £2,000 onto your shopping bill a month. That is insane. That is how much fruit and vegetables you are doing. And you're going to have, what is it, 13 glasses of that juice made from those fruits and vegetables a day. Yeah, that's not healthy. That's not even a diet. That is just unhealthy. Even if it's fruit and vegetables taken in that amount, that is unhealthy. And then you go, yeah, and the therapy that insists on detoxifying the body. You've already got something that does that. It's called the liver. It works incredibly well. in doing its job. It detoxifies the body very well. You need nothing else. Unless you want to hook yourself up to a dialysis machine as well, that's the only way you're going to improve your body's detoxification. You know, and considering your penchant for natural, unadulterated, non-GMO things, why are you not a fan of the liver? It already does its job for you. You need nothing else. You go on later to talk about why, and we'll get to that later. So he continues with this. In this day and age, can anybody doubt that an average human body is riddled with hundreds of toxins in various forms and shapes? From the highly artificialized food we eat and the air we breathe. What toxins? Even Max Gerson, in his book... Hang on, let me show you it. Which I've already done a review of, by the way, can't identify these toxins. Gerson therapy today cannot identify these toxins. These toxins don't exist. This is just a buzzword that they've come up with because it sounds scary. And yeah, you've fallen for this marketing, unless you yourself are pushing the Gerson therapy, which then means you're trying to market to people. Again, doesn't matter if it's highly artificialized food. Really doesn't matter what food you eat, as long as you eat it in a balanced way. Doesn't matter. Really doesn't. Most diets are massively fatty, and really most, general dietitians, with actual degrees and stuff in this, would never actually recommend the types of stuff that are portrayed on these, fad diets. These fad diets are built to sell you a lifestyle and their surrounding accoutrements. Where do you get to? I find nothing wrong with Gerson's caveats. You should do, because they're all to make them money. They sell juices, which they get a hefty cut from. They sell supplements, which they get a lot of money from, which they massively overcharge. Remember, most supplements that people like the Gerson Therapy and Gerson Institute sell are marked up by about 200 to 400%. Not to mention things like, coffee enemas. You've got to do, remember, on the Gerson Therapy, you've got to do 6 coffee enemas a day. And coffee enemas are incredibly dangerous, to a point where you could lose control of your colon. Yeah, and coffee enemas have killed people by dehydration as well. And they've made people have a massive mineral imbalance as well. But, I've already talked about coffee enemas before. Where were we? Here we are. I find nothing wrong with Gerson's caveat, which in essence only states that they can do nothing about some diseases or diseases that is genetically handed out, or a patient who was beaten almost to death by chemo, radiation, etc., and is handed over to them hanging on for life by a thread. So you basically think then, alter ego, that somehow the Gerson therapy works. Well, unfortunately, the Gerson therapy doesn't work. It's never been proven to work. There are no successful cases of somebody being treated solely by the Gerson therapy. Remember, I'd like to point you to the movie that was meant to come out, 2 years ago now? It's called, The Food Cure. That's it. The Food Cure. This female documentarian decided to follow 6 people who chose to follow the Gerson therapy as their main route to curing cancer. This film has not been released yet. and still hasn't been released yet. There is no release date for this film. Why? All 6 patients she followed died. So how's that for, you know, a good score for the Gerson therapy? And there are others out there, countless others people who have done the Gerson therapy and have not been cured, but they've gone to like treatment clinics in Mexico, because that's the only place where you can do it, because it's basically illegal in the USA, because they're making claims that they cannot substantiate. Remember, this is not a diet. They are using this and, you know, touting this as a cure for cancer. This is absolutely unconscionable, and anybody with common sense would have the foresight and, you know, at least be able to acknowledge what these people are doing is absolute fraud. It's quackery, and they're basically getting people's false hope just to, you know, fund a lifestyle. And I can't wait till the day until Charlotte Gerson dies, because I will be doing a video on it, and I will be dancing. And if I find out where she's buried, I will quite happily fly over there and do a video where I dance on her grave. Because quite frankly, when she dies, someone else will pick up the crown and I'll start bagging on them. It might be Patrick Vickers, it might be her son. I don't know yet, but we'll have to see. But this is just absolute quackery nonsense, and the fact that you come on here and then say, without, by the way, we're not backing up any of your evidence, by the way, saying that the Gerson therapy can work. I've done a video which you've commented on where I've asked for people to actually supply me actual proof and evidence that the Gerson therapy actually works as a cure for cancer. I've been waiting for that video, for an actual response, for someone to give it to me for about 6 years. Put it this way, alter ego, I'm not holding my breath given the response you've given to this video. And by the way, as well, you also didn't pay attention to the links. In my video, you put this comment on, which was the dark side of Gerson therapy part 3. I provided numerous links all the time to scientific sources and, you know, scientists, cancer scientists, who basically show this is why the Gerson therapy doesn't work. Only takes a link and 5 minutes to read, but I don't think you'll be doing that. So I'm not even going to bother putting them on this video. But there you go, people. That's basically a lot of people that you have to deal with when you're doing these, you know, going after these alternative quackery people, because they will have followers. They will have people who are blindly followed and blindly buy in to all the marketing spin about it being natural and all this, you know, usual stuff. Again, cited by his, you know, beginning in the beginning comment, you know, a diet that insists on nothing but natural, unadulterated, non-GMO, uncontaminated fruits and vegetables. Yeah, you can very obviously see the type of person we are dealing with. He's absolutely enamoured with anything that is natural, yet apparently doesn't consider his liver to be good enough, you know, as a, you know, to some that actually detoxifies your body. If anyone's actually ever sells you on a detoxification regimen, you don't need one. You've already got one inside your body working right now. So that's alter ego, but I suspect he will comment again in the near future. But I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to bother. I learned long ago, sometimes you have to pick your battles with some people. You know, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, as the saying goes.